Divided loyalties, coastal defenses, and a regiment caught in the crossfire of a nation at war with itself. During the American Civil War, the eastern shore of Maryland might have seemed like it was far from the front lines, but the sprawling waterways, including creeks, inlets, and rivers, made for the perfect smuggling routes for the Confederates. So, who stepped up to protect the Union? Well, one such man was James Wallace, and Andy Nunez, author and amateur historian, is here this afternoon to give us the whole story. Andy, welcome to DelmarvaLife.
Glad to be here, Lisa.
All right, let's start off by giving us a little background on this man, James Wallace.
James Wallace came from Dorchester County. He had a long pedigree. His grandfather was in the Maryland Regiment in the Revolution, and his maternal great-grandfather came here from France. He was a Huguenot named Le Count. And so he had quite a pedigree going in. He went to college at Dickinson in Pennsylvania. He came out and became a lawyer. He went into the state legislature and then the state senate, and they were talking about him being governor. Like Anna Ella Carroll, he was part of the Know Nothing Party. And so when the war broke out, Governor Hicks said, you know, we need a unit here for the Home Guard. Could you do something about it? And Wallace said, yeah, I'll do that. So he formed his own regiment. It had companies from Talbot County on down, all the way down. And it was basically supposed to be a Home Guard unit. It wasn't supposed to leave the Eastern Shore. It was designated the first Maryland Eastern Shore Volunteer.
So it was all volunteers?
It was all volunteers. Yep, even the ones from Somerset and Worcester counties, which were not quite as staunchly Union as the rest of the regiment. But so they thought they weren't going to be fighting. They thought they were just going to be doing garrison duty when they got called up to go down and pacify Accomack and Northampton counties under General Smallwood. So, no. Lockwood. Sorry.
Okay.
Under General Lockwood. So they marched down to Pocomoke. That was from Pocomoke down to Accomack, where this local fellow who was pro-Southern gave them the wrong directions, and they went instead of going straight to New Church, they went down around to Horntown and then got to New Church before getting to Accomack. And it allowed the Confederates to go all the way down to Cape Charles and get a boat and go over to Norfolk.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So, and then they went back on garrison duty.
Okay.
Until 1863, when Lee invaded the North. So
is that how they ended up in Gettysburg?
That's how they ended up in Gettysburg, because Lee had come across so strongly that the Union leadership was panicking, because he was headed not just to Maryland this time, like at Antietam, he was going to Pennsylvania. And if he could capture the capital at Pennsylvania, the British and the French might recognize the Confederacy and join the war. So Lee had to be stopped. So they called up Lockwood and his Maryland Independent Brigade and said, you're heading to Pennsylvania. So they arrived there, and they were broken up at first. One section went one way, and the Eastern Shore Regiment was kept in reserve. But on the 2nd of July, the fighting was so intense around Culp's Hill that they called for them. So the regiment marched up onto Culp's Hill to support the troops that were already there. And they got in position on the line, and the next thing that happened was they were charged by the 1st Maryland Confederate Brigade.
Oh boy.
So this was literally brother against brother.
Yeah.
Fighting this battle, and they threw them back with 200 casualties.
Wow.
Which was really big, because the Eastern Shore Union Regiment only suffered 61 casualties in the entire war. So inflicting 200 casualties just on that one Confederate unit was a lot.
That is.
And these were soldiers that had never fired a shot in anger.
Yeah.
That were shooting at these Confederates.
So I understand there's actually a monument on Culp Hill for them?
Yes, there is a monument. I've been there, I've seen it. It's a very nice monument, because when I went on the first time I went on the tour of Gettysburg, they asked me, where are you from? You know, I'm like, well, I'm from Eastern Shore, Maryland. He said, well, So he showed me the Union one and the Confederate one, and told the story about how they clashed at Culp's Hill. And the Somerset County ones that I was telling you about, they didn't want to fight against the Confederates, so they all got dishonorably discharged and train tickets back home.
Oh my goodness, what an incredible story.
It was, and then the unit mustered out at the end of 1863. Wallace went back being a lawyer. He eventually became a farmer, died in 1887, and he's buried in Cambridge.
He made his mark.
He made his mark.
Andy, thank you so much. Interesting story, never heard that one before.